So, what if Yoda killed Darth Sidious during the duel? And so, Yoda and Darth Sidious fight. They get into the Senate chambers, and they're fighting and fighting. And Darth Sidious starts throwing Senate pods because Yoda presumably knocked the lightsaber out of Darth Sidious's hands. And so Darth Sidious is throwing Senate pods, and Yoda is trying to dodge them. And eventually, Yoda fights back, and Yoda basically forces a Senate pod towards Darth Sidious. And so Darth Sidious is laughing, and Darth Sidious pays attention in the nick of time, and Darth Sidious realizes the Senate pod is coming towards him, so Darth Sidious jumps and avoids getting hit by the Senate pod. But what if Darth Sidious failed to pay attention and he moves a little too slowly? What if when Yoda threw that Senate pod at Darth Sidious, the Senate pod hit Darth Sidious, and so the Senate pod hits Darth Sidious, and Darth Sidious slams into another Senate pod, and Darth Sidious his brain and whole body and all the bones all break, and Darth Sidious is a broken, crushed mess on the floor of the Senate. Yoda would come over, and Yoda would chop Darth Sidious to pieces, just to make sure he's completely dead. And immediately Yoda would call Bail Organa, and Yoda would go and capture Mas Amedda and Sly Moore. And Yoda would make sure that the Senate is under control. And with Mas Amedda in Yoda's pocket, Yoda can do whatever he wants. And so they would probably call an immediate emergency session of the Senate, and basically the story would be Darth Sidious was a maniac and he was behind everything, and the Jedi are innocent, and so yada yada. And since the Empire has only been around for a few hours at this point, and not for a few years, Yoda would be able to probably take control of the narrative a little better, and try to do some propaganda to get the what's left of the Republic on his side. And so Yoda would reassemble the Jedi. Yoda would get all the Jedi to come back to Coruscant, the surviving Jedi at least. And so I think, obviously, Kanan Jarrus would return. And I think even Ahsoka Tano, who's not a Jedi, would still return. And Obi-Wan Kenobi would return. Alpha Rancisis would return. And Coleman Kosh would return. And so the Jedi, what's left of them, have returned, and Yoda would probably get the Kaminoans to shut down the inhibitor chips, and so on and so forth. Now, Yoda would talk to Obi-Wan, and Obi-Wan would probably confess that he did not see Anakin die. He only cut off Anakin's legs and left him for dead. And Yoda would be faceplant and be like, why let Vader possibly survive? You did, and why? And so Yoda would basically order Obi-Wan to go back and kill Vader or make sure he's dead, and Obi-Wan would not want to do it, so Yoda would probably tell Alpha Rancisis, and maybe Alpha Rancisis would go and chop Darth Vader to pieces, and would go and chop Darth Vader's burnt body to pieces and throw him inside the lava and kill him for good. And so meanwhile, Yoda would regroup the Jedi Council, and so I think Alpha Rancisis would take Mace Windu's place on the Jedi Council, since Mace Windu is dead, and maybe Shaak Ti would take Plo Koon's place. Or maybe Coleman Kaj would take Plo Koon's place. So we have Coleman Kaj, Alpha Rancisis, Yoda, Shaak Ti, and Shaak Ti would of course replace Ki-Adi-Mundi. So we have Alpha Rancisis, we have Coleman Kaj, Alpha Rancisis, Yoda, Shaak Ti, and Luminara and Obi-Wan Kenobi, and Luminara Unduli to replace Agent Kolar. And I think Jocasta Nu would have returned to the temple at this point, because she would know that Yoda is in charge now and that Darth Sidious is dead, and so Jocasta Nu would feel comfortable returning. So Jocasta Nu would probably replace Anakin Skywalker, and maybe they would of course have to find many new Jedi Council members, because most of them are dead. Now, of course, just as an aside, I made Shaak Ti survive because I like Shaak Ti, so that's all. Anyway, Bail Organa and Mon Mothma and his allies would have a hard time keeping control of the Senate because of so much unrest, but I think they would manage to do it. I think they would be quite capable of doing it, and I think they would probably get everything to calm down. And I think just for convenience purposes, Bail Organa would probably allow the Separatists to stay separate, And he would probably allow for the Separatist Senate to still exist and for them to do what they want to do with Separatists on the condition that there's now peace between the Separatists and the Republic. Clone troopers have had their inhibitor chips removed, and droids have been shut down, basically. So there will be a peace. And meanwhile, Luke and Leia would have been born. Or maybe they wouldn't have been born. Who knows? Maybe they would get lost and be miscarried. Who knows? But anyway, let's say Luke and Leia were born. Luke and Leia, I think that, sure, they could be trained in the ways of the Force, but maybe Yoda might think that Luke and Leia are a little too dangerous to keep around, and maybe the Jedi collectively think so, and maybe they might kill Luke and Leia. I mean, that's a little dark, but it could be. It could be. So who knows what would happen there, but the point is, Luke and Leia maybe would most likely just become younglings. But anyway, the point is that if Yoda killed Darth Sidious during the duel, then it would be easy to seize control of everything and for the Jedi to make a comeback. Because with Darth Sidious out of the picture, the Jedi can make a comeback easily. And with Darth Sidious out of the picture, then Darth Vader does not get rescued and he might die from his injuries, or maybe Yoda would send someone to make sure that Darth Vader is truly dead. And so if Yoda killed Darth Sidious somehow, if he got really lucky, then that would have solved a lot of problems. But he didn't, so it caused a lot of problems.